looking at this picture, I want to go ahead and do one more thing. I want to go ahead and mark this point right here, and I want to call this x comma f of x. And then this point up here would be denoted as x plus change in x, okay, because we're moving across some distance of x here. And then the new height would be x plus change in x, or f of x plus change in x. And we've done this before when we were driving the derivative. Well, what I'm going to take note of is that the change in y, and this is what I want to write down here, the change in y is equal to the y minus the y coordinate. So our y coordinates would be f of x plus change of x minus f of x. We're going to need this knowledge as we continue on. So we're going to be using this and the dy equals f prime of x dx. This next example asks me to compare the change in y and dy. So I'm going to go back to the slide. I want to make sure I copy down both of those equations I have in boxes. One said change in y equals f of x plus change in x minus f of x. And then the other one said dy is equal to f prime of x dx. What I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to compare change in y and dy. We should see that they are pretty close to each other. So I'll go ahead and start by finding change in y first. What they give me is they give me my x is 0. They give me my change in x is negative 0.1. So I'm going to plug in the 0 for the x and the negative 0.1 for the change in x. Then what I'm going to do is, this really says find f of negative 0.1 and subtract it from f of 0. I'm going to plug in negative 0.1 into this equation. So it'll be 1 minus 2 negative 0.1 squared minus what f of 0 is, which would be 1 minus 2 times 0 squared. So all I did was plug in negative 0.1 in for my x and then 0 in for there. What that gives me is that my change in y is equal to, when I punch that all into a calculator, reduce it, negative 0.02. On this other part here, I know that dy is equal to f prime of 0 dx. Now my dy is equal to, let me go ahead and separate those two. I need to know what f prime of 0 is. Well, in order to do that, I need to know what f prime is. So y prime is equal to negative 4x. So I'm going to take and I'm going to plug in 0 in for here, and I will end up getting negative 4 times 0, and then times my change in x, which would be negative 0.1. When I multiply that together, I get dy is equal to 0. Notice how these are very close values to each other. I have one more video that we will cover.